Well, hello, beautifuls, and welcome to another episode of The Gifted Table. You know, sometimes you just need to have that girl chat, that table talk, and that's what we're going to do today with our beautiful special guest right here on The Gifted Table. Okay, lovelies, pull up your chairs real close. Today, we are blessed to have the beautiful Rochelle Wright with us. Say hello to the table.
Hi, table. Hello, family.
That is our family. So Rochelle and I, it's so funny. Our relationship has been like, girl, how we've been knowing each other and we haven't really connected the way we need to.
Right.
But I'm going to pray for you. You're my sister friend. Such a beautiful spirit.
Yeah.
She's an educator. She has a story to tell. And so today we're just going to have some table talk here at the Gifted Table.
What an honor.
Gifted Table.
What an honor. Thank you. An honor to be here.
How can I not have that smile?
Right.
How can I not have that smile? So we're both in education.
Yes.
We've been in it for a while. We've both been in the classroom. You're currently in the classroom.
Yes.
Just tell me about what's your journey been just in education as a woman and as a Black woman in education.
Wow. My journey
Too much
started...
too soon?
No. No. My journey in education began about 22 years ago. Returning back from Northern California, I began transferring to college in Los Angeles and worked at like a nonprofit organization. Okay. And it was for at-risk youth. So it just, the passion just to see children make it and have somebody that has a breathing belief into them, was just so special to me. Just those connections that you would see with that youth, like they're hopeless sometimes. And so bringing that hope back to them really just inspired me to get into education. So then I became an instructional aide in the Rialto Unified School District. Hello, Rialto.
What up, Rialto?
The toe. Anyway, and right. And so just, throughout that journey, just things would happen. I believe God was, making education find me because that wasn't my original field of study. I was a business at heart. I'm always a businesswoman by night, a teacher by day, right? And so just a boss babe. But that inspiration. So the journey of education kind of found me. And I was like, okay, Lord, if this is your will, then I'm doing it. Then I'm doing it. And I've just been on that journey. So lo and behold, here comes, after I got my bachelor's degree in business, I pursued my mentor at the time. I was like, I'm going to fire you because you need to teach. I'm not going to hire you another. Just like, because you need to be in the classroom. And I just was like, what? Me? Really? No. And I said, okay. How I even got accepted into grad school at Claremont was just, everything has been God. And even up to this day, He has been navigating this journey. And so here I am, Moreno Valley, 17 years teaching, and it's been a journey.
It was so funny because I have shared on the Gifted Table how, just being flexible in things that you do. And my original go-to was not education.
Right.
Broadcast journalism was my original major. Again, I keep telling y'all gonna see this face on
Pretty beautiful.
But the same thing, education found me, through a friend of mine who was like, hey, we need a teacher. I told my principal. And so it's so good to hear you say that as well. And there's so many people in our profession where it found us and we didn't even know that we had an idea to get in the classroom, to work with the youth, to work with young people, to work within the education system. And yet this has been our journey, both of ours, for over a decade, for most of our adult lives, a good portion of our professional lives has been in education. Now, I know you to be a very grounded, spirit-filled, unapologetic woman of God.
Yes.
How has that impacted just you in your professional career, and you as a leader.
You are right. I am unapologetic about my faith. Even a recent interview, it was all about God, and that which led me to my current position. I'm not ashamed of who I follow because He leads me, and so that's my leading in life. Like, I'm looking for leaving a legacy for Him. And so having Him in my life, or just walking in with the Lord, has just been so pivotal and so important, because I don't know how I would do this life, this walk, even being led to teach children and discerning who and how to touch in that way. So it's been so many things, and the Holy Spirit is just always there. I'm always praying, because He has to be the center of it all, and to direct and guide us in life. I don't know how people do it without Him.
Right. I don't either. And many times, even here at the Gifted Table, I've mentioned and have sprinkled in about Christianity, my faith, and just what God does, and just being on the journey, and just really believing that everything I do has a purpose, and I have to learn how to walk in that purpose, to stay in that purpose. Do you sometimes find it difficult to have people to see you, or I would say take you seriously sometimes, because you're a believer, they may see a Bible on your desk, and just how your spirit is, and they question, is she real? And do you find yourself kind of dealing with those things indirectly or directly?
Both. I would say it's a combination of both of them. And as I've matured in Christ, and just began to know Him, and getting to know myself through Him, what they think about me now is not my business. I'm not here to please them. You may catch me in a day that it's more serious than anything else, because it's business that needs to be handled. We do know how to flip those hats. We know how to code switch. We know how to do all of those things, but always remain in Him. I'm gonna make Him famous, not embarrass Him. And do we get it right all the time? Absolutely not. I tell my students all the time, my name is Miss Wright, but honey, I'm not always right. Trust me, sometimes I'm wrong. I go left and I'm not right. So, but I have learned through my journey to also give myself grace, because I'm the biggest critic. I'm my biggest critic. I allow that conviction to come, and all my values, all of those things, but not unapologetic, and learning to love people where they are, so I give that grace. I extend that grace to others, people who believe differently.
Yes.
That's not going to influence me, because I'm going to always be a thermostat and not a thermometer. To know me is to love me. And if you know me, you know that about me. So
absolutely. I often tell people, whatever gifts that we have has been gifted to us here at the Gifted Table. They're not for us. They're for us to give to others, right? They're for us to share with others. So what would you say are some of your gifts?
Wow. One of my gifts, probably like kindness and love. I just really know how to love people where they are, and acceptance. I truly do believe that, because how we were raised also, we always want to leave a space, a face, and a place better than we find it. And so that is always a mission of mine. Like, when you're in my space, be careful. I might convince you that you're special, you're awesome, and all of that. And that goes back to that question, like, do people think, is it real? Is this authentic? This is me from a little girl. You ask anyone, even from my childhood, she's been that same smile's been here, right? So gift of joy, worship, the way I live my life, so those types of things, I would say. And you're right, gifts are not for us, they're for other people to experience, but true love and acceptance of people.
So seeing how you do see these gifts in yourself, how do you help cultivate the gifts that you see in those who you lead in your classroom, in your organization?
Just making those connections, looking at other strengths. again, we can see that in others, but within ourselves, that's something I'm learning to do. But especially within my students, just helping them see who they are. And I am an educator, a special educator. So, I work with students that struggle with learning disabilities and what have you. So there's that self-helplessness and being able to motivate them and see who they are. We actually have a mirror in my classroom that's the I am mirror. So we have like a motivation station, a sanitation station, but they get to look in the mirror, and it's hard for them sometimes to see themselves, just like you said, I am brave, I'm enough, I am this, and just really teaching them how to see themselves, see what they have within them, and teaching that emotional intelligence in addition to academic intelligence has been very critical for helping them lead themselves, but seeing what's within them. Learn to lead in love, though, more than anything.
I love that. Helping them to see who they are. That I am is so important. When I see the word impossible, right? I love to look at it as I'm possible, right?
Don't you? Yes.
I'm possible. So how do you help those young people, our youth, our next generation, when they've heard so many times, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not smart, or you're in that special class? How do you really help them to imagine who they can become and share and see the grace for themselves? Sometimes that's difficult for us to do.
It is. Again, that self-awareness, that self-advocacy, that's a mission of mine. I recently transitioned from high school to middle school because I said there's a gap missing. I started off in elementary and made that transition to high school after the pandemic, and I saw what was missing in our youth, especially youth of color, just like them not knowing themselves because social media has led them or told them who they can be. They can be a unicorn. They can be a ring light if they want to. They can declare whatever they want. And it's like, but is that who you are? And to help them see that I am mirror was so powerful for them to come up with synonyms, things that are synonymous with them. What do you bring out? And always be careful or mindful of how you present yourself to the world. That was one of the statements that my sister said before she transitioned. Like, always think about how you show up in the world. That matters. And it's like, but you can still start, even if it's at a place of lack.
Yes.
Use that yet. Be at that great mindful growth mindset. When my students cannot say, I can't. It's like, I don't know what yet. Right? So they know I don't, I can't. Those are not words that are allowed in the classroom, because you can do anything you put your mind and effort, best effort too. And when they seeing that light bulb go off, and that having that sense of pride, like, see how you feel? Yes. I'm like, you did it. Make you proud first. So I teach them that, make you proud. Nobody else. This is your life. You are king and queen of you. Do what you need to do. Whether you believe you can or you can't. You're right. So which one are you going to be? Which side are you going to be on, right? Let's do this. I'm here for you. What you cannot do is make me give up on you. I'm here.
I wonder how many of your students you work with that you're the first person to tell them that.
Ooh, that hits. I hear that a lot. I didn't know that. Teenagers, it's often the first time they hear it, which is heartbreaking. So they don't know how to. They're actually pouring out from the well that they have, which is probably not that deep, And so I try to go deeper with them and help them see it. And in doing that, it's helping me. It's liberating myself. So that little girl is being healed by healing and touching and through teaching too. So first time for a lot of them.
Now, being on campus is such a great thing. You get to interact not only with the students, but also with staff members, colleagues, and leadership. So how do you get support for the journey that you're on and for the leadership you want to have in your classroom, amongst your colleagues and all that. How are you being supported in your own journey? And who are your biggest supporters?
Wow. Well, of course, God, right? But in the natural form, there's always, leadership is so important. And leaders that are led by God are really just phenomenal in my journey. I have a lot. I have a few. You are one. For sure. That I've always admired, not only from a distance, but just in person, in real life. So my flowers given.
Listen, we have had this conversation. She is not going to do this to me today on the gifted table.
We're gonna get through it.
I love and adore her, but
yes, we're gonna get through this. But it's it's people. God has placed people in my life and we got no tears, okay? But just that have just led me across those pillars that have led me across this journey, and I look for those type of people that, have integrity. That's important to me. And along the way, and women of color it's so important to have that. So in every grade level or every transition, there's one that's been assigned. I found that the ones that are Christian leaders, those are the ones that bring the leader out in me the most. Which led me even to the site that that you have had a great impact on. Your presence and leadership. It's just like everyone should experience that type of atmosphere at work, at school, just to be an educator, to be poured back into and to be affirmed. So I do that in my, that cultivation, continuing to do that. I'm giving what I've given 17 years in education and with no expectation. Just because you deserve it, I get to work with you. Not I want to, I have to. I get to do this. And I'm blessed. It's an honor. It's an honor. So I show them how special they are. And they're like, you think I am? Of course. You were put in my life's pathway for a reason. So let's set our intentions. And my kids do that. They set their intentions and their agenda.
Tell us about your ministry. What's the name and what is the...
Well, Corey, this is how I say it. I make brains beautiful by day and faces beautiful by night. So I'm a beauty executive with Mary Kay. And that at the center, the core of that company, so God first, family second, career third. And so when you live your life that way, all things too come into play, right? They align because that's the way it should be, right? And just teaching women what they, again, like the kids. So I go right back. Okay, here's the mirror. I am what? Right. I am worthy. And just showing them that. But then even believing it myself, teaching yourself to do that. It's such a wonderful thing. And to enrich someone's life and show them who they are, who they were made to be. And when they believe it, watch out.
You better watch out.
Watch out. So just empowering people. That brings me so much joy. Yes. And you see them take off. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. There's no greater feeling to show that.
What would you say, if anything, what would you say is missing right now in education to strengthen our roles as leaders? No matter what role you have, classroom leader, you're a teacher, you might be a clerk, you might be an administrator, you might be one of the accountants, you might work in student food services. What right now do you think is needed to help build the leadership in education?
One of the main things that I focus on in my classroom, one of those is the emotional intelligence. We don't know how to see people. We don't know how to see ourselves. And so many things are maybe taken personally or miscommunicated or just mistaken. And when you can see someone, that emotional intelligence and just having that sensitivity to humankind, just humans in general, that to me, I think is missing a lot of the time. We're chasing after likes instead of legacy. We're not looking to help other people out. Just natural human kindness is missing. And it's like, when you lead with the mind of a legacy, like Dr. White, like you there's so much influence in that. There's so much impact in that, and that residue stays because it's something meaningful. You're going deeper, and servant leadership is missing, I would say. Emotional intelligence and servant leadership. We get to serve those. You cannot ask for a hand if you don't touch a heart first, right? And so education is a definite give me feel. And we pour so much, but we need to be poured back into. That happens. That pouring, seeing that what we do every day be put back into the people that are the poorest, that are the filling stations. They need to be poured back into. So that's missing. That affirming, just a little touch. You're doing a good job. Give them a bag of chips. You all that in a bag of chips. To me, it's corny, but it means something. I do that with my students too. I do that with people in my life. Just a little message or just a starburst. You're just brightening my future, whatever. But it makes them, they're being thought about. They matter. They're seen. Their words matter. So being affirming people and loving them.
You are an amazing educator. You have been inspirational in districts you've served, and you've served as a leader, and you've served with grace, and you've served with kindness and compassion. And I know we never see it now, but I know there are hundreds of young people who know and appreciate the beautiful Miss Wright.
Oh, wow.
They do.
Listen.
They do.
Wow.
So 17 years in.
Yes, 17.
What would you tell yourself now on how to prepare for the journey that was one you were not looking to walk?
What I would tell myself is continue to trust the process. Don't always trust God in the process. In every transition, every turn, every bump, there was purpose in everything. And it either brought growth, trust the process, and go forward. Don't stay stuck so long. Okay. Move forward. Like you push the kids, push yourself a little further.
So now looking ahead, you're at a new site. You're doing great in your business. What is it for Rochelle? Not Miss Wright.
Rochelle.
Rochelle. What is it that you want, and what is it that you need?
I would say just like complete wholeness, not having a need for anything. I honestly have everything I need in the love of my family and the people that are surrounding me, that I allow in my space, God allows in my space. Physical things, tangible things like relationships are most invaluable to me. So wholeness, I guess, would be what I continue to need going forward, just so that I can continue to pour back into people, but learning how to first fill my cup up. And through this journey of tragedy, triumph, all of that, I'm learning how to restore, rebuild, allowing him to do it.
Yes. And you forgot testimony.
Come on. Yeah.
Right? Because what we say, there's no testimony without the test.
I've had plenty of them, right? I think we all do as educators, though. Yeah.
But we don't all do it the way you do.
Wow.
And I'm so grateful you are here.
Beyond. The honor is mine. Wow.
We're so glad to have had her here at the Gifted table. I know that you received something. So be sure to give this a big thumbs up. And if you're not currently a subscriber, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications for when our episodes come. And it's been great having her here. So blessed to have her. You've heard a lot about emotional intelligence lately. Leave a comment. How are you using emotional intelligence? Let me know. I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Until next time, remember, stay grounded, innovative, fierce, transparent every day. In other words, stay gifted. We'll see you next time.